It's the harvest season, and the Jadhos are busy discussing the quality of the latest rice crop. The family has been in agriculture for the last 5 generations, and this farm is their main livelihood. But for how much longer? The government wants to buy this land, part of plans to build a major industrial park. But despite the compensation being offered, the family is strongly against selling up.
My entire family is dependent on these farms. Our children have no technical knowledge, so they won't get employment at the factories that will be coming up here. If we sell the land, we will get money. But what business we will do with that money? Farming gives us financial security for the future.
Now, the new industrial city that the government plans to build here will consist of large-scale factories supported by new roads, ports and rail networks. But like the Jadhav family, there are many farmers in this village and surrounding areas that are against the project and don't want to sell their land. And this resistance has forced the government to scale down the size of its plan.
Acquiring land in India for infrastructure and industrial projects has been a sensitive issue, which has often led to huge resistance. In 2008, the Tata Group was forced to scrap a car factory project in West Bengal after protests by farmers turned violent. Last year, a new law was brought in to make it easier to buy land. But it came at a price, and that stalled many infrastructure projects that firms say have become unviable.
The biggest problem in this particular acquisition is that there is so many processes which have to be followed for the resettlement, for taking over the land, that the cost for acquiring, the cost and the time for acquiring the land has become so long and so high that it is just not practical.
The new government plans changes to the existing law, including watering down a rule that 70% of people affected by the development have to agree to it. But is that enough to make a difference on the ground?
Wherever in the world you've seen successful compensation practice, it goes beyond monetary. It goes into livelihood, it goes into job creation, it goes into enablement to create another profession in case you're not going to be able to continue working the land. It is not just about paying a certain amount of money, because increasingly the affected people have seen that that money is here today, gone tomorrow. But the rehabilitation into them being able to do something with their lives, which may be different or may be the same, is equally important to the immediate compensation.
For now, the Jadhos are hoping that the government will abandon the plan to buy land in their village. But if that doesn't happen, the family is ready to fight right to the very end to preserve what they call their family legacy. Their story is a strong reminder for the government that implementing the land acquisition law is not going to be an easy process.